Hi there, my name is Marley and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be starting off a vlog where I'm going to be reading 3 adult fantasy books. So if you've been following my channel this year, I keep doing vlogs that have like little themes to them. I've done like romance, sci-fi, thriller, you know. And so now I'm going to be doing specifically adult fantasies. I normally read YA fantasy, but there's been some adult fantasies that are on my radar. So those are the ones I'm going to be reading in the next couple weeks and filming my reactions. So one of the ones I'm going to be reading is The Secret Life. What is this? The Secret Life of American Teenagers? No. The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab, a very, very popular book. And it is about this girl named Addie who ends up in this like contract with the devil where she wants her freedom, but in turn, he makes her forgettable by everyone. Like she lives forever, but people forget about her as soon as they stop looking at her, kind of thing. I'll tell you more when I get to it. Another one is going to be The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This is another one people loved last year that I really need to get to. And this is about this guy, I think his name's Arthur. I know I started it last night. I think that's his name. And he works for this like government organization, I guess, that goes and keeps an eye on these orphanages for magical children. And then I guess he ends up getting very invested in this one orphanage and some of the kids and like I think learning like life lessons from them, learning how to love, something like that. And I think he falls in love with actually the person who runs the orphanage as well. Sounds very cute. And the final one I want to read is House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I just wrapped up her Throne of Glass series, and I'm going to be working on her ACOTAR series as well. But I also want to read this one. I don't know as much about this one, but I know it has to do with like demons and magic, I want to say. Oh, and I think angels as well. There's gonna be some romance, obviously, because it's Sarah J. Maas. And again, I'll tell you more once I get into it. But yeah, that is this week's vlog. Stay tuned. Hey, so I was opening this package from Book Outlet, and then I was like, I'm filming a vlog this week, like I should vlog this. So mini haul, I got Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. I feel like, have I heard many good things about this? I don't think so, but I really liked We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and I think this was like really cheap on Book Outlet for Black Friday. So we have that one. Then I got the Inheritance Games hardcover, which I already read the ebook, but I loved it so much that I wanted to have the hardcover version. I hate that they have these like stickers on it though. I'm gonna try and take this off. There was another book I got from Book Outlet the other day and I took the sticker off and it literally ripped the cover. So pretty annoyed about that, but hopefully that doesn't happen with this. Here, I'll show you actually. So I'm working on buying all of the Archivist Scythe series because I love it. And yeah, it ripped right here, the sticker. But when it's on a shelf, you only see this, so. Then, oh my god, the one I'm most excited for. Beautiful, except for the sticker. It's Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. But I've been dying to read this book. This is such a nice cover. And yeah, these are all discounted for Black Friday. Love that. Then, as I just said, I'm trying to get the Archivist Scythe series. So this is the second one, Thunderhead. So all I have to do now is get the first one, Scythe. Will I reread this? Probably not, but I want to have them. Okay, another exciting one is I have Holly Black's The Queen of Nothing, which I think this is the 3rd book in the Cruel Prince series. Do not have the first 2, but this one was the one that they had on sale, so I'll have to get the first 2 at some point in hardcover. But this is really beautiful. I'm assuming I'm gonna love this series, so hopefully I do. Hey guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's been multiple days since I last filmed a clip. This week has been awful. Like, a lot of things have been going wrong, which I won't get into. Well, I'll get into today. We woke up and our water was turned off. We were not notified. I guess it was some sort of emergency reason that it's turned off. So no idea when it's coming back on. I have tons of dishes in the sink. Can't do them. You guys know the issues when there's no water. So just a way to cap off the week. another bad thing to happen. It's Friday, thank God. Anyways, I have been reading The House in the Cerulean Sea a little bit. I'm not as far as I wish I was. I'm definitely behind in my reading schedule, but it is what it is. To get into what it is about, we are following this man named Linus. I thought his name was Arthur, but he's a different character. So Linus works for, and now I forget the name, but it is this company that goes around and like investigates these magical orphanages. So obviously it's a fantasy. It's taking place in a world where there are like magical people. He goes and like makes sure the kids are being taken care of properly, that the people running the orphanages are doing everything right and stuff like that. And then he gets told that he has a special mission because he's really good at his job, I guess, but he's very good at like following all the rules basically. So they send him to this special orphanage that has kind of like the most dangerous kids, I guess. And one of them is literally the Antichrist. He goes there. There's like a few other kids that are like, one's a gnome, like one's a fairy, whatever. I shouldn't spoil that. And then Linus is the guy that runs that orphanage. And so it's kind of like Linus observing them and seeing that they're kind of not like a typical orphanage. He's a little bit, you know, scared of Lucy, aka Lucifer, who goes by Lucy. I'm not like 100% obsessed with it yet, but I'm like a third of the way through, maybe a little more, but it is quite funny. Linus is kind of like that typical character that's like very rigid, that likes routine, all that stuff. So it's interesting seeing him in this sort of chaotic environment, and it's gonna be definitely about him letting loose and coming to like understand these kids and be more compassionate. I think I can definitely sense like that there's gonna be some romantic stuff with Arthur. Been confirmed they're both like gay men, and I think there's a little bit of a connection there. Lucy is really hilarious. Just make like really like dark comments, like evil comments, and Linus is just like, what? Like he's just kidding. Like, is he really? I don't know. It's just very funny. So I'm definitely enjoying that. I hope I will actually have more time to read soon, and I hope that this weekend is better and then next week is better. We have all these dishes from like yesterday and today. No water. So that's fantastic. Hey there, it's Sunday. This week has continued to not be great. Our water did come back, so that was something good, but I don't know. Things still keep going wrong, kind of. But it's Sunday. I did some schoolwork, and then I read the rest of House in the Cerulean Sea. I just finished it. I decided to give it 5 stars on Goodreads. A part of me was tempted to give it lower, but I think it's just because this reading experience I had, like I was very distracted. I feel like I didn't fully appreciate everything, but I'm not gonna let that affect my rating, so I still give it 5 stars because I know that is what it deserves. It was just so beautiful. It made me cry or like tear up at least. So to me, I feel like that's a sign of a 5 stars. Yeah, major themes of like found family. There was actually a lot of important messages and themes in this book. Sorry if my hair is so crazy. A lot about like acceptance and not judging a book by its cover, not having, you know, prejudice against people, and just being accepting, as so many people had prejudices against the kids in the orphanage or in the home, a more appropriate term for what it was. And they were, you know, people were scared of them because they were, you know, the Antichrist or these like monster things, but really they were just children and they did not deserve to be judged. If they were brought up correctly or with kindness, then they will turn out to be good people. Actually very similar to Frankenstein, which I read earlier this year. Basically, if you treat people bad, then they're gonna turn out bad, but if you treat them kindly and you really love them and give them a proper home, then the kids are gonna turn out all right. It was a really beautiful story for a lioness, kind of learning all this stuff, finally finding a place where he belongs, a place where he feels loved and where he loves them. It was really, really beautiful. yeah, I highly recommend this to everyone for sure. And it's just so funny as well. Like all the kids, well, mostly Lucy and Tally, I would say, were like really funny. It was just so beautiful. So the rest of the day, I am going to clean the apartment. I want to start the next book, which I'm thinking will be Addie Larue. And I want to start like wrapping some Christmas gifts as well. Because at this point, I have bought most of them. So yeah, that's the plan for the day, and hopefully the start of this new week is better. We're creating little Oreo reindeer. Here's our first one. So cute. Beautiful, stunning. Never seen anything like it. So I have been reading Addie. I'm over 100 pages through and I'm quite enjoying it. So it is about, as I've said, Adeline Larue, and she was born in the 1600s, and then you see her in the 1700s. She grows up to be like 23, like her early 20s. She gets arranged to marry this man that she does not want to marry. She doesn't really want to marry anyone, and she wants to be free to live her own life and travel and all that sort of stuff, but she's getting forced to marry someone. So this lady in her area always talks about like praying to the gods. So Addie is like desperately praying to the gods to get out of this marriage, and she is so desperate that she ends up praying to the gods at night, which there's a rule that you are not supposed to pray to the gods who answer at night, but she is so desperate that she does, and he is kind of like the devil that answers her. He says he's like not a god and not the devil. I don't know. Right now he's just kind of described as like the darkness. So he appears to her as this like really beautiful guy and basically offers her like a deal. Like if she gives him her soul, then she can have her freedom and everything she wants. So she makes the deal and quickly realizes that everyone forgets about her, and it's really sad to see those scenes that are in the past when she is just learning about her curse and seeing her family forget about her and her friends and just everyone, and her trying to live. I didn't actually realize that it's not just that people forget about her, but she cannot make an impact on the world at all. It is basically like she is not there, like she doesn't exist, because she can't even write something down. She can't do anything that will have an effect on the world or on people. Not to spoil, but there's even a scene where she like stabs someone and then they heal. Like she cannot affect anything, which is very interesting but also like so frustrating, because I was thinking, oh, she could like have a little like remote job that she does for money, but no, she can't, because no one will even remember her if it was like over email or something. So it's actually really hard. Like it's actually like a pretty bad curse, a really hard way to live. She basically just resorts to having to like steal things because she can't even make money to like buy things properly, which I feel bad because like it's forcing her to be like a criminal and steal, but she really doesn't have any other choice. Anyway, so we're seeing kind of like flashbacks to past decades or past centuries, I should say, that she's lived, and then we're also seeing present day, which is actually in 2014, where she's kind of figured it out. She has her little tricks that she does to get by, and presently she's living in New York. So the parts where we're just sort of seeing her life are a little bit slow, but it still is interesting. Like we've seen some people that she has grown feelings for, but it sucks because they never remember her, and eventually she just has to like stop meeting them for like first times or like one night stands because like she just gets too hurt by them always forgetting her. But then we also are seeing Henry, which I knew was another character, another main character in this book. They have just met once and we're getting some POVs from Henry. He's just like a 20-something-year-old guy. He has some like family issues, it seems. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of their scenes together. I look forward to that, and we've only ever seen that shadow darkness guy show up one other time too, so I'm really hoping like those other characters start popping up more, but I am still very much at the beginning, so we'll see. I'm very intrigued on where it's going for sure. Addie and Henry are also both bisexual, so we have some bi rep in here, which is cool. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say for now. Popping in here for an update. I didn't mention my last update, but something that I actually like about Addie's experience, even though she can't make an impact on the world, she kind of does by inspiring people. So that was something I wanted to mention. Like, she can give kind of like ideas to people for songs or for like book ideas, painting ideas, like art, because she's very artistic. I don't think I mentioned she is a Pisces. They say her birthday in it, and like, yeah, she's major Pisces vibes, like for sure. So I do think it's cool how she's kind of doing that and finding like a way around this curse. Also, she's been interacting with Henry a lot more in this section. I should say I'm on page 256 now. They've met, she's realized that he remembers her, and I sort of had theories about why, and I was mostly right about why he remembers her. I feel like if you think enough about it, like, you could probably figure it out, but that's kind of like a little twist to it. And so we're finding out more about Henry. Very interested in both of these characters. See why some people might not like it. I feel like it is very like character driven, slow, as I said in the past, but I'm very invested. Like, I'm here for it. I think it will be a high rating, but I'm feeling like maybe there will be more twists coming potentially. I do have a kind of theory of something that might happen, but as for my week, it is going a bit better this week. We're gonna do some more baking this week. I have a Christmas party for work to go to, but after that I'm actually taking Friday off after the party, so I'm hoping to get a lot accomplished that day, especially with reading, because I'm still behind on my reading schedule. How did our Christmas baking go, you ask? Oh, pretty good. Hey guys, it's Saturday morning. I did finish Addie Larue last night. I wanted to finish all 3 books by today, so I'm still behind on my reading schedule, but we've been doing some Christmassy things, baking as you saw. A lot of them did not turn out. I was trying to do some sugar-free recipes because I was diagnosed with diabetes this year, so I thought that'd be cute, but they really didn't turn out the best. And then I had my holiday party with work, which went pretty well. Today we're having our like personal Christmas party with our friends and some family come over, so hopefully I will read a little bit today and start the Crescent City book, but I do need to like clean the apartment, get prepared, get physically ready myself, and all that stuff. Anyway, Addie Larue, I did end up giving 4 stars. I quite enjoyed it, as you saw. The whole reading experience was pretty good. It just wasn't a 5-star for me, and maybe that's because my expectations were put pretty high from everyone who read it last year and was like gushing over it. I also would say like a lot of it was a little bit predictable. Maybe if like anything that happened was really shocking, that might have like pushed it to be even better, but I do feel like throughout the whole book you kind of like knew where it was going. That doesn't mean it wasn't enjoyable. Like, I still really liked it. I liked all of our main characters. I thought they were all really interesting, and the relationships between them, and just the whole concept of the curse that Addie has, and then the situation that Henry has going on as well, and the polarity of both of them. I'm trying to say polarity more. But yeah, a very like beautiful story, I would say. I think it was a good match for the Christmassy season, even though it does not take place during Christmas. It still has those vibes, those like fantastical-ish vibes, but this is still good for someone who isn't that into fantasy. Even though it is an adult fantasy, it's not very heavy in those aspects. It mostly does have to deal with like the gods, like that there's this dark god and just some like curses going on. So very light fantasy, kind of similar to House in the Cerulean Sea as well. It was definitely not like too heavy heavy fantasy. They're both very like character focused, so they'd both be good for people who aren't big fantasy readers. They both had to do with like the devil kind of, which is interesting, and I honestly want to see if the next book's gonna have stuff to do with the devil too. I feel like it might, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, hopefully I'll try and vlog something for today because it should be fun, but if not, then I'll just check in when I've started A House of Earth and Blood. It is a windy day, it surely is. Look what I got. Tim Biebs. I have not tried these yet, but my sugars are kind of low today, so I thought I would try them. My boyfriend got them for me. Okay, so the first one we have is the birthday cake one, so let's try that one. It's good. I'll be honest, I don't eat Timbits that much, so I can't really like compare it to like the basic Timbits, but it tastes like not anything special, but like still good. So maybe I can have one other one. Can I tell them apart? Okay, let's do the chocolate white fudge. Also good. Also, it tastes pretty similar to just like a chocolate Timbit. Now, do I try the third one? I think it was like, that was the sour cream one. Don't want my sugars to like skyrocket here, but let's just do it for the taste test. Looks similar to the birthday cake one, but I think this is the third one. Okay. This might be the superior one, but I've actually grown to like their more like plain ones like this or vanilla more than their chocolate. All right, that's it. Pretty basic in my opinion. I like the taste of all of them, but I don't think they're that different than the other Timbits. This is the aftermath. It's a beautiful day out. Hey guys, I am here to update that I think I'm actually going to be DNFing Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. For the moment, I don't know if it's going to be forever, but I got into it yesterday. I'm just not loving it. As I said, like, I don't know if it's a hard DNF, like I might come back to it later in the month, but I just found that it was like potentially causing me to get in a reading slump, and it's like a 700-page book, at least the ebook was, and just knowing that, it was so daunting that it was just not a great reading experience for me. But I'll tell you a little bit about it. I did get like, I think less than 20% of the way through, maybe like 15 or something. This I thought was gonna be more urban fantasy. No, not really. So it takes place in this city called Crescent City, and it's basically a supernatural city. Like there are fae, like fairies, there's werewolves, there's vampires, there's angels, like there's a whole bunch of different supernatural stuff going on. There are still humans though, so it's kind of like was a lot for me to wrap my head around going into this, and I just don't think Sarah J Maas is the best writer. Like, it's a feeling that I was getting when I was reading the Throne of Glass books and struggling through it so much, of like trying to wrap my head around this world, and then also just feeling like there's so much unnecessary content that I wish was done better. And it sucks because I really enjoyed ACOTAR and I want to continue that series, but I wonder if that really is the only series of hers that I can read. But anyways, we're following this girl named Bryce, and she is half fae, half human. She is best friends with this girl who is a werewolf, and then her friend and her whole pack, her whole werewolf pack, get brutally murdered, and they think it's by this one person. And then you kind of flash forward a couple years and find out that someone else has been murdered the same way, so it cannot be that person, like it must be someone else. It took over 100 pages to just get through all that. Like, it was so much unnecessary like filler crap that I just feel like Sarah J Maas has reached that point, similar to Stephen King from what I've heard of his books, where like they're so successful that there's not a lot of editing that's being done on their books, and it's just a real struggle to get through. Bryce I kind of did like Bryce's character. I liked that she was not a typical heroine, I guess. Like I feel like so many are like innocent and sweet and maybe sort of plain, but she was very fiery. She was out here like partying, sleeping with a lot of guys. I kind of like that Sarah J Maas has those types of characters instead of more of like the plain lead and like the innocent virginal lead, you know? But there's just something about the writing that was like not clicking for me, very similar to the later Throne of Glass books where I'm not fully understanding the story. It was just so much info dumping, I felt, and so much like telling instead of showing. I like fantasy when it's like a character that doesn't know anything about the world and you see them get dragged into it and you get to learn with them. I feel like that's a really good way to do fantasy. When it's not like that and the main character already knows everything, it's just so much harder for me to get into it. There's just so much info dumping happening and it's not super interesting. I don't know how to explain it, but basically I'm deciding to set this book off to the side. Maybe I'll come back to it later in the month, but I just don't think I can just sit there and read 700 pages of this in a row, especially when I'm trying to read so much this month. So to wrap up this vlog, we had some success. I loved House on the Cerulean Sea. It was 5 stars, amazing, recommend to everyone. Addie LaRue I also really enjoyed, and I again would recommend to most people. House of Earth and Blood, not great. It's kind of open-ended, like I might come back to it, I might not. Keep an eye on my channel, my wrap-up for the end of the month. So I guess what we learned is that I can definitely like adult fantasy, but I think I prefer when it's like lighter adult fantasy, which is what like Addie LaRue and House on the Cerulean Sea were. Or it's just that I'm not big on Sarah J Maas's writing, like how I struggled so much with Throne of Glass. So we're gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to continue with the ACOTAR series and see if I continue to like that series or not, and maybe I might have to give up on Miss Maas. It's hard because she's so popular that I just want to, you know, fit in with everyone. I want to see what everyone else sees, but there's also people who don't like her, and I don't know, I might be on that side. We're gonna have to see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this vlog. Please subscribe. I have now dove into my next vlog that will be coming soon. Hope you're having a great holiday season, and I'll see you next time. Bye.